How influential do you think Elon Musk is?
Very.
In actual swaying of votes, changing the opinions.
Here's the thing. How much do I think Twitter matters? I don't know. You could actually, and my colleague Ryan Grimm makes the case, and I think it's compelling, although hard to say, that Elon Musk Twitter is actually in some ways bad for Republicans because it's created this just like right-wing echo chamber where they think all of their worst opinions are super popular and creates a bit of a disconnected bubble where, for example, you can think it's a smart idea to lie about Haitian immigrants eating pets and think that this is going to sell nationwide, and it doesn't. So, there's a debate about whether his stewardship of Twitter is effective for Republicans and for Trump specifically. But Elon Musk, according to Trump, is putting $500 million into the Trump campaign.
Could that not be hyperbole from Trump to just make it sound
very
impressive?
Possible? And that's the other thing about the American election
system. Trump
we don't know
lies all the time, except for this thing, which is like I don't want to believe.
But we know it's tens of millions. We know it's an incredibly substantial sum, and we know that he's effectively moved to Pennsylvania and is running key parts of the Trump campaign. So again, I'll separate. Electorally, will it make a difference? Hard to say. Certainly having that money helps Trump more than not having that money, and Trump's a little cash strapped this election cycle. What matters more to me about Elon's influence is he's already been promised a plum government position with wide-ranging authorities, as best we can tell. And Elon Musk, however you feel about him, this is not a disinterested actor. Last year alone, just Tesla and SpaceX received $15 billion in federal government contracts. U.S. taxpayer dollars to the tune of $15 billion in a single year. He is one of the largest contractors to the Pentagon.
Is that not because he creates the best technology that's the most advanced? We've got Boeing stranding, making. I'm not
saying that he shouldn't be, but I am saying that if you are that, you should not be in charge of a large swath of the government because you have a massive conflict of interest.
Surely there's a lot of those as you go up with people that have been in big pharma and then they end up working for the FDA. You've got
of course. Yes.
These are replete with these kinds of issues.
Absolutely. And you see it, to make the parallel on the Democratic side, because this is not meant to be a partisan point. It's meant to be a principled point about the corrupting influence of money in politics and the rising influence specifically of billionaires in politics. I do think Elon is a uniquely extreme example pushing the boundaries of this in a way that there is no comparable other example. And I can make that case in a moment. But, to give you an example on the Democratic side, Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn billionaire, Mark Cuban, who we all know who Mark Cuban is. They both are big Kamala donors. They haven't given as much to her anywhere close, as far as we know, again, campaign finance being opaque, anywhere close to as much. But, they're going out there and clearly trying to shape what she does next time around. They don't like the SEC enforcement on crypto in particular. So Mark Cuban has said, hey, I want to be SEC chair. And there's been pressure around that. And then in addition, Lena Khan, who's been the head of the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and been very aggressive in terms of antitrust enforcement, which I think is incredibly important for competition. Wall Street absolutely hates her because she's, putting a sort of icing a lot of mergers and acquisitions that are how a lot of Wall Streeters make, fat bonuses and make a lot of money. And so both Reid Hoffman and Mark Cuban and a few other billionaires on the Kamala Harris side have really been trying to use their influence and power to shape what that regime will look like next time around as well. So I'm not saying that there's one party that is immune to this and the other is not. But because of the size of the dollar figures that we can tell and the level of involvement and the large government contracts, the fact that he does run a social media giant in addition, I think I think everybody should be deeply troubled by the idea of this one individual, regardless of how you feel about him or who he is or how brilliant you think he is or whatever. Any one individual who is not being voted for having that kind of control in the federal government.